I love the sound of the drum, the taste of food cooked in an open fire, and the feel of running bare feet on the sand. Growing up in Africa, I never owned or played with a toy. I didn't know I was poor. Even without a book to call mine, I loved possibilities and wondered as a kid, what would it be like to learn English, Japanese, Spanish, and to teach them all? Because teaching to me meant mastery of the content. My grandmother one day sat me down and told me to dream big. That was a huge ask from a woman who didn't have a voice of her own. I believed in her words, kept my faith, and achieved my dreams. I taught in the United States for 20 years, kindergarten through 12th grade. What surprises me is that American children are not taught to dream big. In fact, the hardest part of my job wasn't teaching Japanese characters or delivering instruction on a limited school budget, but getting children to know it's okay to dream big. One day, my eighth grade students wondered, what would it be like to design a quilt to honor Japanese Americans who fought for the United States while their own families were imprisoned? What if it were 19 by 41 feet for the year 1941 when Pearl Harbor was bombed? Put 120,000 tassels all around it for each person interned and make it from clothes worn by these heroes to tell their stories. They did it. While working on this quilt, one student spent an entire Saturday inscribing a poem onto fabric. When he finished, he carefully put it on the floor for the paint to dry. One school board member came by, curious to see progress, got too close and stepped on the paint. I could see the pain on the kid's face. The student didn't say a word. He got on his knees, rolled up the panel, put it in the trash, and started over. When he finished, I noticed that his peers surrounded the panel with desks. I can tell you one thing, they did not invite school board members again. That mistake, though, was a blessing. The children bonded as a team to safeguard their work. 504 students in the 8th grade collaborated to finish what they call the 120,000 tassel tapestry, their masterpiece. Another year, 2 students discovered a military unit that was not acknowledged in history books. They acquired film taken during World War II that was never developed. The students wrote grants to create a traveling exhibit in photography. They also wrote articles for national publication to tell their story. At the end of the year, one of the students got an F in nearly all of his classes. When I asked, how could an 8th grader, a published author, and a successful grant writer could possibly get an F even in language arts, I was told he was a special ed student. I thought, I must be that teacher who fell through the cracks. Since when we graded on limitations? Ordinary children can perform extraordinary things. Each year, the after-school projects were as unique as the children who entered my classroom. From turning the school courtyard into a Zen garden, building a skating rink, to traveling to East Africa as the youngest to ever go on an expedition. Common ground, they dreamt big and learned from mistakes. At times, we want to succeed in small increments to avoid mistakes when we need to embrace them to move forward. Ever had a big dream, a really big dream, but then aimed low and still did not achieve? Did you go through that self-talk of shouldn't have and couldn't have? That's when you pick up the phone, call BS, because there's nothing you can do. You see, when you aim low, the competition is too high. When you rise above the rest with your own idea, there's only you. I wrote a grant for $3,500 barely enough for a project my student wanted to do. It was rejected. I felt crushed. Same grant, same title, I wrote it for $35,000. I won. We must set our sight big for our children. When we don't, we shortchange ourselves. A year ago, I volunteered as a court-appointed child advocate. I discovered that foster care children fend for themselves when they turn 18. Our country is challenged by children homelessness. Ohio alone is the home of 1,000 foster care children who exit the system each year. We don't dream for them. And somehow we think they can make it on their own. One child passed away from the cold right here. Another one died in my own community for not having his medication. I was told, yes, it's an unfortunate thing. No, it's an uncompassionate thing. Children are not asking for our expertise, only extra time that we can spend with them. When I asked some of these children what they wanted more than anything, surprisingly, a mentor in their life. Imagine their possibilities with your guidance. Who wants to help me on this journey? Thank you.